Gotcha. Hello, hello, hello.
This is the funniest thing to me, Curt Cruz. I tell you to smile before I hit the record button, and you're like, you do some cheesy thing.
This?
Right.
Hey, everybody, it's Curt and Jen, and this is our podcast. We are actually remote again today, and I called Jen this morning and said, hey, maybe just stay home, we'll do it remote. I didn't give you the actual reason why.
Oh, there is reason, because I was feeling like, why does Curt hate me? Like, I don't understand this, but okay.
That wasn't it at all. We had a fun little incident with our new puppies, and they decided it would be fun to not only dig up like a bulb in a little plant from outside in the yard, right?
Yeah.
Additionally, they decided to bring that inside and ran inside and upstairs in the master bedroom and shook it around.
So you have dirt everywhere in your house right now?
Oh, not just dirt. This is the really dark, black peat, like planting, what do you call it? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Potting soil.
Potting soil.
Yeah. So I looked at it. Oh, it's vacuumed up now, but I was like, I'm just going to call Jan.
It allowed me to feed my sourdough starter in the refrigerator so I could make bread for a friend who just had surgery.
See, that's the good thing. The doggies knew that, and they're like, I'm going to do this to help out Aunt Jen. So
that was nice of them.
Yeah, so there's a bit of a puppy update. Let's see what else today on the show. I like this liquid death story. Liquid death, by the way, a lot of people don't even know this. It's just basically water. I thought liquid death was like
energy drink.
Yeah, but
Me
it's
too.
yeah. So they've got liquid death now. They're selling this with certain rock stars' DNA.
This is so gross. Like, I don't even get it. And I can't wait to hear what this is all about. We're going to tell you how many hours a week will literally break your brain. And there's good news for coffee lovers.
Also, your go-to workout song. That was our question of the day from Monday. And we also have a video game that's become so popular. This video game is beating Fortnite.
That's mega, by the way. Yeah. That is mega.
Also, one trait that can make you happier for the rest of your life. And what's this other one here? Normalizing
office sex.
Normalizing office sex.
I can't even believe this one, but okay.
Here we go. All right. Well, I started with a puppy story.
And coincidentally, you went to puppy training last night.
Yes. Our first puppy training day. Mostly it was just, what do you guys want to, what kind of behaviors do you want to change? And and the list was like forever long. We don't want them to jump on people. We want them to come and call. We want them to sit, stay, blah, 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 blah. Don't bite each other. Don't bite me.
And you went to Anna. This is Anna, the dog trainer.
Yeah. From Paws with No Flaws. And she's amazing. So anyway, we'll see how it goes. We had a lot of new tips. And it's amazing how much you forget. Well, let me see. Last time I was training a puppy was Dexter. That was in 2010. So it's been a little while. Yes, do you have a question? You there in the?
I just want to make a point, because this is the hardest part about puppy training. Mm-hmm. You have to actually take time to train them and be consistent.
Really?
Yeah, Curt Cruz, because that's the hard part.
Mm-hmm. Are you saying that maybe you didn't do enough of that with young Sailor?
I think that perhaps we did not.
Sailor's a great little dog.
If she likes you.
If she seems to like me, so.
And by the way, unless I've missed it on Facebook, you have not posted pictures of your two puppies.
Yeah.
What the hell?
All right. We'll get to it.
I mean, Teddy has the cutest big ears.
I will find some photos and I will introduce the world to them today. How's that?
I hope so. I hope that you're not lying, because you told me you were going to do that before.
Not lying. I was just reserving it for the people that took the time to actually watch the video part of our podcast. They have made an appearance here on the podcast. And by the way, my sister Terry in Florida said she's not only listening, she's watching the entire podcasts now.
Hi, Terry.
So I have to really watch, I guess, my facial reactions when I talk about my family. How about you? What did you do recently, the last couple of days?
Well, yesterday, actually. So I think I mentioned on Monday's podcast. I think I mentioned this, that my friend Stacy passed away a few years ago. She's one of my besties. She's
Right.
my yes friend. And yesterday she would have turned 50 years old.
No, that's a
So
biggie.
we went to the beach. A group of us, a small group of us, went to the beach and had a picnic. We had done that with Stacy on one of her birthdays, so we just did that. But I will tell you, I was talking to Pat yesterday on the phone randomly, looking out the kitchen window, and along comes a little hummingbird in the backyard, which we don't have hummingbirds on the regular in the backyard, not at all, actually.
Right.
And the hummingbird feeder is in the front of the house. And this little hummingbird came up to the little window and like just fluttered away, came back real quick. I think just to say, did you see me? Because I know you're talking on the phone. So I'm like, hi, Stacy. Thanks for showing up. Happy birthday, girl.
And if people hadn't heard, you've mentioned in the past that there was some sort of hummingbird connection with your friend.
She loved hummingbirds. She loved birds in general, but hummingbirds especially. And
Right.
so that's kind of, I feel like that's how she shows up for me.
Isn't that cool when it happens? I mean,
That and
obviously it's a sad
butterflies.
story.
Those are the two things I like think of her when that happens.
And I love that story too. And that is, you know, some people might say, psh, but we know it's them coming to visit.
I know. I'm anxious to hear how your dad's going to show up for you, because I believe they do somehow, some way.
As soon as it happens again, I will tell you all about it. Okay.
Before we go to the quick hit, Curt, I
Yep.
wanted to, because we were talking about hummingbirds, I just want to do this quick story
Mhm.
that we might be killing our hummingbirds unintentionally because we don't know that we're supposed to do this particular thing that many people do not do.
And that is changed because, well, people probably know that hummingbird food is basically just sugar water. You know,
Yeah.
when we not when they go around and they get nectar and stuff from the flowers, but you know, you put out your hummingbird feeder with a mixture of 3-4 parts water to 1 part sugar or something like that. So you need to keep up on top of that because it goes bad.
Which I did not know, and I need to tell Jackie we have one, and I know we have not changed it. So it's all about cleaning your hummingbird feeder. You've got to change out the water, and not only that, clean the feeder.
Yeah.
They say to replace the liquid every few days, and you can just rinse the feeder with hot water. But if it's been a while, you should deep clean it with water and vinegar or hydrogen peroxide.
The issue, of course, is that bacteria and fungal infections, if you don't replace the feeder, the food, the liquid, these bacteria and infections can actually kill the little hummingbirds. I guess they find it's not that common. They said most of the microbes aren't deadly enough to cause huge declines in hummingbird populations, but it does happen. And for dirty feeders, it can at least make them sick. So let's keep that in mind. Because I always thought about that when, you know, the hummingbird would come and I was like, oh, that's been up there for a couple months. Maybe I should do something.
And especially in the summer, because the heat makes it real bad. So
Okay.
I need to take down our hummingbird feeder and we need to get it cleaned for sure.
Okay.
All right.
And then put that on Facebook because you got to put that up in the social medias, Jen. See?
Moving on.
Okay, the puppies are more important. Sportsy stuff. Stanley Cup.
You don't like this. I know you don't like this story now.
For the second year in a row, the Florida Panthers have conquered the Edmonton Oilers and lifted the Stanley Cup as kings of the NHL.
Okay.
The Panthers' back-to-back crowns have both come at the expense of the Oilers. Like, I don't know if I mentioned this before, but this was the same lineup last Stanley Cup.
Oh, no, you didn't. I did not know that.
Oh, sorry. I must have overlooked that. But yeah, so last year it took 7 games. This year it was just 6. So yeah, the Panthers, I mean, I got to give them dynasty status at this point, I suppose.
Have they been a team for a long ass time?
Not as long as like the Oilers and stuff like that. I couldn't tell you the exact year, but it's they're among the newer teams, not like the Kraken and the Vegas Golden Knights. But so anyway, congratulations.
Curt doesn't really mean congratulations, by the way. He really wanted the Oilers to win.
I always, when I was first getting into hockey in Detroit, I was like, they shouldn't have hockey teams in towns where it doesn't ever get icy. That's just not right. But obviously, that's not the case. Now, basketball, the NBA Finals, we still got that's still going on. We've got Oklahoma, the OKC Thunder leading Indiana. The Pacers, 3-2. Game 6 is tomorrow night. If Oklahoma City wins that, then it'll be all over. Otherwise, there'll be a game 7 to settle the whole thing.
Do you care who wins that?
Nah. The discussion was, I'm not a huge basketball fan, mostly because I'm terrible at it. Not that I'm great at hockey either, but I guess didn't we discuss that? Do you pull for?
We did. You're right.
I asked somebody else. I asked Steven. I said, so he's like, I'm pulling for Indiana, and I said, is it because of the whole fact that the Thunder used to be the Sonics? He's like, exactly. So his take on it was, you stole our team. I hope you lose.
Okay. Well,
I guess.
All right. Hopefully the Sonics come back and we won't even have to worry about it. It'll be very clear who we're rooting for.
Wouldn't that be something?
This is super sad. We're just doing some quick little hits here.
Mm-hmm.
Chef Anne Burrell, she was a Food Network star.
Was?
America's Worst Chefs.
Yeah.
She passed away yesterday, 55 years old.
Yeah.
They haven't even released her cause of death yet. I think what I read is they found her unresponsive in her home in Brooklyn.
And something just popped up here a few minutes ago that they think it might have been cardiac arrest. So, but I don't know what that's based on. That just came up here. But just so you know, we're not saying that she was America's Worst Chef. She was on the show America's Worst Chefs.
Oh yeah, didn't she host it?
Yeah, yeah.
Show.
So you recognize her straight away with the spiky blonde hair. Yeah. So 55, very, very young.
That makes me really sad.
No, I don't like it. What's this next thing? This is not unrelated to.
I just wanted to mention it very quickly. Tinder has added a new feature that lets users coordinate double dates. I don't really know how it works. So is that really you're going on a triple blind date? Kind of. Like you're meeting 3 people that you probably haven't met, because if you're coordinating blind dates, like I guess I don't know how it works, but I think it's pretty cool. And I think that I'm going to tell my friends about it.
Yeah, well, your single friends. I mean, say it was, well, you're not single, but say it was 2 of your single friends and they each, made a connection on Tinder. So now, and this is for US users, I guess. I don't know if this is around the world or not, but they can coordinate a date where, and that's from a safety standpoint, that might be a great thing.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't know if you're coordinating with a bunch, like they're putting you with strangers, or you, like you said, like you and your friend are both on Tinder. Let's go on a double date. But you can just coordinate that anyway. Like, I don't get that. Anyway, it's there. It's a new feature. I think that's kind of cool.
There you go.
Date on.
All right.
I'm going off the rails on the crazy train.
Cover of Ozzy Osbourne song?
Well, clever, yeah. Oh, you have to have heard Crazy Train, Jen.
I have heard Crazy Train before, for sure.
Is it possible I look for the weirdest possible covers when I get these songs?
Yep, okay.
It makes them stand out. Liquid Death. Liquid Death, we were talking about earlier, sold 10 iced tea cans. These are just empty cans of Liquid Death iced tea. So you're like, okay, what's the big deal?
Oh, it's empty cans?
These 10 iced tea cans contain Ozzy Osbourne's DNA. 10 lucky people, blah, blah, blah. Okay.
Blah, blah, blah.
Here we go. 10 lucky people. The joke is here, between 1969 and 2010, there were lots of ways you could actually come in contact with Ozzy Osbourne's DNA, particularly if you were a bat.
That's right.
That was bad.
Ask about that. Yeah.
10 lucky people are getting fresh batches of Ozzy Osbourne's genetic material thanks to Liquid Death. They put 10 empty iced tea cans up for sale that were consumed by Ozzy himself. Now, aside from this, that there are people that say, Justin Timberlake came to my restaurant and he wiped his mouth with this napkin. I'm going to keep it forever.
Who cares though? Like, what? I don't understand that.
Well, apparently they think people care enough to pay $450 each. Guaranteed to contain trace amounts of Ozzy's DNA. They come in a container autographed by him personally. $450 each. Not surprising. Oh, they sold out immediately.
How much does he get from that, I wonder? Probably
like
a lot of US
money.
dollars.
Yeah. Ozzy actually has a quote here. He said he's not afraid of what the buyers might do with his DNA either. Ozzy said, quote, "Clone me."
I was just going to ask you, Curt, like, what do you do with the DNA? Can you do something cool with it?
Well, do you remember there was an episode of A Big Bang Theory where Penny gave Sheldon for Christmas, she had a napkin because Leonard Nimoy had come into the restaurant she works at, and he had wiped his mouth with this napkin. And Sheldon was freaking out. He's like, I possess Leonard Nimoy's DNA. So he could actually make another Leonard Nimoy.
I wonder if any science companies bought it.
To make a second, we don't want to have a second Ozzy Osbourne.
Okay, that's all. We can move on.
I think, isn't one Ozzy Osbourne enough? Probably so.
Okay, this is what we were talking about at the beginning of the show, that there is a video game that has surpassed the number of users beating Fortnite, and it is Roblox game, Grow a Garden. I'm just telling you this because I feel like it makes us a little more hip.
Well, the previous record, just so you know, Fortnite held the record of most video game players, I guess maybe over one weekend. That was 14.3 million. And now this new game, Grow a Garden, a Roblox game, 16 million concurrent users.
Right. Beating Fortnite, which is pretty impressive for a game that was created in about 3 days by an anonymous 16-year-old. So then Jandel Madsen.
He's got the studio that acquired the game.
Yeah.
And at that point, it had like 2,000 players. This
in
is
April. That was in April.
They're saying that the game is like Farmville or Animal Crossing. Yeah, 3 months. Any other game that involves tilling the land without getting dirt on your fingernails, that would Grow a Garden. That's what Grow a Garden is all about. I don't know how much Jandel Madsen bought the game for. I hope it was a lot of money.
And they're introducing a lot of different, like it says, they have also introduced a ton of in-game drops that users have to be present to snag, which keeps players coming back. You can also pay real money for digital items via Robux, which I know about those. Or join the unaffiliated black market, which includes millions of dollars worth of digital fruit and animals for sale on sites like eBay and Discord. Apparently, kids like their vegetables. About 35% of Grow a Garden's players are under the age of 13. So hopefully they're not going to a black market.
And hopefully that encourages them to eat their vegetables. Just because they like to grow them virtually doesn't mean that they're going to enjoy, broccoli anymore.
Grow a garden if you want, virtually.
All right. Now, I hesitated when I saw this headline, and I double-checked, and the headline is right, because anytime they use the word literally, you want to make sure. When somebody says, that literally killed me, it's like, no, it didn't. You're still alive. This headline is working 50 plus hours a week literally breaks your brain. And it turns out that literally is actually correct. Yes. A study found working too many hours a week literally changes the structure of your brain. Researchers scanned the brains of 110 healthcare workers and split them into two categories that was overworked and not overworked. And they defined overworked as 52 hours a week. So they found, the big smart scientists and researchers, that working that much causes significant changes in parts of the brain associated with executive function and emotional regulation. So it can mess with your decision-making skills. It can cause you to get emotional or fly off the handle a lot, and also affect memory and attention span.
Oh, great. Now I have a reason why now.
I don't. I'm not working 52 hours a week, and I still have bad memory and attention span.
I did work over 50 hours a week for many, 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 many weeks.
Well, now you can hopefully recoup some of that time, right?
Is it reversible?
They didn't look at the long-term effects. They suspect being overworked for years on end isn't great for your mental health, especially if you work through weekends and never take a vacation. You took vacations.
I did, not as often as I should have. I carried way too much over.
Well, unfortunately, our vacations often were worked in with station events. Yes, it was great to go to a broadcast from Puerto Vallarta or from Hawaii or from Scottsdale. But
Or Disneyland.
yes, but those were certainly not your brain was going the whole time there, Jen.
That's true, because I had listeners that I had to worry about and broadcasts I had to worry about. But that's okay, because now we're on a big fat vacation, Curt Cruz.
Woohoo!
Good news, Curt. Good news for you.
Story similar to this a little while ago, but go for it.
Drinking coffee. So if you're a coffee lover, it lowers your risk of death, but there's a catch to it.
The catch.
There is a
Please.
catch. A while ago, scientists debunked the myth that drinking coffee stunts your growth when you're young. Now we're hearing that it doesn't stunt your life when you're older. There's a new study out from Tufts University, which shows that drinking 1 to 3 cups of caffeinated coffee daily is associated with lower overall mortality, particularly from cardiovascular causes.
Okay.
So it should be extending your life, but there's a catch. The benefits are specifically for black coffee. If you add cream, sugar, and whatever else you order from Starbucks that's unhealthy, it's not good for you.
I'm just trying to read all this here. They say, okay.
You have to ditch the additives. Black coffee, the coffee with low levels of added sugar and saturated fat were associated with a 14% lower risk of death compared to no coffee consumption.
Low added sugar. That's what I was looking up. So low added sugar is defined as 2.5 grams per 8-ounce cup. I have no idea how much that is. Oh, I see, half a teaspoon. And low saturated fat was defined as 1 gram per 8-ounce cup, or 5 tablespoons of 2% milk.
I'm screwed.
Yeah, I know. You take the milk or the cream and turn it vertically. Glug, glug,
This
glug, glug, glug.
podcast is making me not feel very good about myself. I worked over 50 hours a week and my brain's literally broke, and now I'm going to die.
Shall we move on to the question of the day?
Yeah, do we have anything else to add to that?
No, not really. Just that if you drink black coffee.
Drinking 2 to 3 cups was slightly better than drinking 1 cup. However, there's no added benefit to drinking more than 3 cups of caffeinated coffee with no sugar or milk added.
That sounds
boring.
Terrible. Yeah. Right. Is that you hitting a punching bag? A speed bag?
Yeah.
Now people have to watch the video so they can see that.
Oh,
what's your go-to
it's
workout
lame.
song? We had the story on Monday that Rob Lowe, and he admitted that this was lame. He says the song that gets him pumped up and amped up and ready to go and work out, which apparently works because he still looks like he's in his mid-30s, and is that song right there, Eye of the Tiger from Survivor. So we said, what is your go-to workout song? We asked that question, rather.
Randy said
that can't be right.
Randy said Everybody Hurts, Lay Down, or that one that goes, Let the Bodies Hit the Floor.
That's Bodies by Drowning Pool. That one I could see how that would amp you up. But Everybody Hurts by REM.
He's being funny. He's being Randy. He's saying, no, the workout songs are Everybody Hurts and Lay Down.
I know. But I'm saying Bodies might be a, Anyway, Pump Up the Jam. Ken says Pump Up the Jam. He followed it by 3 question marks. I could see how that'd be a good workout song.
I don't know. Jackie said I have so many, but my current go-to is Make You Say by Zed.
Yeah. Zed, Maren Morris, and Maren Morris have that song.
And both.
Make You Say. Sonia, whatever's playing at the gym. I read on the elliptical, so I'm focused on that. Then I take a weight class, so whatever they're playing. All right.
That is, Sonia, I don't even know. I can't read on the elliptical.
I don't think I could either.
Or treadmill for that matter.
Bike.
It's hard. I would get motion sickness.
Becky, Chris Isaac, Baby Did a Bad Thing. Good song.
And Lady Gaga, Telephone. Okay.
Right. Corey. Yes, Corey. Any AC/DC song usually gets me going. You're not going to find any of those AC/DC ballads when you're working out. I don't know if one exists. I doubt it.
Laurel said Physical by Olivia Newton-John. That's a good one. And Lawrence and the Machine, Dog Days Are Over.
I have a Florence and the Machine story, but I'll save it for another time.
Do you want it? Can you tell it quickly?
Very quickly. We got tickets when I was first dating my now wife, like one of our first dates. our music director, Elisa, left us a pair of tickets to go see Florence and the Machine at Climate Pledge. This is before it was Key Arena at the time. This is before it was even Climate Pledge. And we got to the will call window, and there was only one ticket. And it was a mistake. We never give away one ticket at a time. You know that. It's always in pairs. So what you know what we did is I just said to Dana, go on and go home. I'm going to go to the show.
You did not.
I did not. We said, forget it. Let's just go have a nice date night. And we went to Matador in Ballard. So still haven't seen Florence and the Machine.
Okay.
Oh, we also have finally the top 5 artists overall that we like to work out to, based on not our personal, our question of the day, but the top 5 artists that people say they want to work out to in order: Kendrick Lamar, Metallica, Taylor Swift, Red Hot Chili Peppers, and Beyonce.
Rock was voted the most motivating genre with 47%. 44% get a rise out of hip hop and rap, and 42% get inspiration from pop, electric, and metal to round out the top 5.
Right.
There you go.
Are we done with that?
Well, yeah, because really, I mean, how often do you work out, Curt Cruz?
Let's go on to the next story.
Okay.
And enjoy this.
I'm bringing sexy back. Them other boys don't know how to act. I think you're special.
Come on.
Behind your back.
The lounge.
What do you search on? What do you Google when you find these songs?
It's not important. I'm not going to tell you. Although we may have to start crediting.
All we know is we can't play the original, otherwise we won't even get heard on the podcast.
We get flagged. But I have had people like, that was a really cool version of Sexy Back. What was that? So I guess maybe we had to start crediting these. All these are is just random people on the internet doing their versions of these songs. So
okay, what's happening?
Gen Z wants to normalize in-office sex. That's what that song was for. A new poll. A little under half of Gen Zers say that they're having more sex while working remotely due to more flexible schedules. But when it comes to things that they'd like to see added to the office, a lot of people getting those back to office orders now, about 40% said they'd like to have, quote, private spaces for hookups and solo play during the workday.
I mean, what in the F?
I'll let you take over from here because you love these kind of stories.
This is so they could, quote, take a break alone or with a coworker.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, come on. Are you kidding me? Overall, a third of Gen Zers worried that returning to work or returning to the office would negatively impact their sex lives and disrupt their work-life balance.
Now, here's something I'll say about work-life balance, okay? That wasn't a thing when I started working. I don't think it was when you started working either. I think it's a good thing because we grew up just, stick it out, if you had issues or whatever. So I'm happy that there is a work-life balance now. However, sometimes I think it goes too far. And saying I'd like to have some me time for some special favors at work, I think is probably taking it a step too far. No?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, can you imagine? I mean, I would put a camera up by who's going in that room.
I know you would.
Oh, Curt Cruz, so-and-so and so-and-so just went into that room. They're totally hooking up right now.
Or it would be like, Curt Cruz, why aren't you at the meeting? It's like, oh.
Curt Cruz, why are you going in that room solo?
Another story that came out from this is 24%, about a quarter of Americans want to have a break from sex. They want to have, you know what? I need a little bit of a break. This is about top reasons, including they want a break from sex to learn other forms of intimacy, also to give the body and mind a chance to catch up, and because they want emotional closeness more. Closeness.
Aren't you pretty close when you're emotional closeness, Curt? Emotional, not physical.
Around half the people in the poll say they have previously taken an extended break from adult relations, and they call this getting married. No, the average sabbatical being 6 months. Thanks for that. I appreciate that little laugh. So you've got the Gen Zers wanting to be able to have sex at work, and you've got these, mostly it says apparently doesn't have a breakdown as to ages, that are like a quarter of people saying, nah, I'm going to take a break for a little while.
Can we go back to that special room that the Gen Zers want?
Yep.
Do you have to clean it? I mean,
I don't know.
How does that work? Okay, first of all, I feel bad for the person that has to clean that room, like the custodian or janitor or whatever.
Right.
And I mean, if someone used it before you, like, do you like push a button and have someone come clean it, or are you responsible for cleaning it yourself? Like, that's a big mess. And don't bring in a black light.
It's probably like when you're at the gym, you're supposed to wipe down the equipment when you're done.
Gross. Gross.
All right, let's whip through these because we're running out of time. This is a quick little deal. If you were involved in the Frito-Lays, I guess it's just Lays now, they had their contest called the Do Us a Flavor competition, asking people to come up with new flavors for the Lays, I guess, potato chips.
Do us a flavor. That's awesome.
Do us a flavor. You love it. There is a $1 million prize, and that $1 million prize, we can announce the winner, Paula George from Oklahoma. She submitted, how about you make bacon grilled cheese flavored potato chips? Saying the snack is meant to taste like the nostalgic toasted sandwich and was inspired by Paula George's late father's recipe. And that's the one they picked. You're going to start seeing that in the stores. It'll be Lay's, what did I say it was? Bacon grilled cheese flavored.
Oh my God, there were more than 700,000 flavor recipes submitted by fans with the chance. Well, with a chance to win $1 million, why not, right? Only 2 other flavors made it to the final round of voting and go to the grocery store shelves nationwide.
Right.
That's
so
Valentina and lime flavored and wavy Korean style fried chicken.
Ooh. I would
go.
try that before I would try the bacon grilled cheese.
Bacon and cheese? Why wouldn't you try bacon and cheese? What's wrong with those two things?
My point, no, I would try the bacon grilled cheese, but I would take the wavy, of those 3 you mentioned, Valentina and lime, right? Wavy Korean style fried chicken or bacon grilled cheese. I would, of those 3, I would try the wavy Korean style fried chicken first.
Okay, I have to look up what Valentina is. Can you move on to the other one and then I'll tell you? Do you know what it is?
Can we save it? All right, go ahead. I'm going to move on though. We're moving on.
Oh, it's a hot sauce.
Okay.
There you go. One trait that can make you happier the rest of your life. It's hard.
Wonderful. It's not like you can just flip a switch and say, hey, I'm going to be happier for the rest of my life. But here's the deal.
A new study from the
Netherlands.
Netherlands.
In the Netherlands, yes.
Okay, that's legit.
Why is it legit? Because it's in the Netherlands.
Because Netherlands people are very happy.
That does seem to be true. What is this trait then, Jen? Tell us about it.
This is true whether you're in your 30s, 40s, 50s, or even 80s. All you have to do is learn to trust people more. That's what it is. They found that having a trusting attitude makes us feel happier and more satisfied with life. And it gets easier and easier the more you do it.
Right. They said it like it's kind of like a loop. The study showed that trusting people makes us happier, and being happier makes us want to trust people more. So they said it's the trust and well-being mutually reinforcing each other over time.
It holds true across all age groups, but makes the biggest difference for kids, teens, and seniors. The type of trust does not matter, though. Trusting people you're closest to makes the biggest difference, followed by trusting humanity in general.
But this one,
it
and this
does
is what
matter. The type of trust does matter, though. Sorry.
And when I read this, that was the third thing. Institutional trust, when you trust in things like governments, banks, the healthcare industry, they found that doesn't make as much of a bigger difference for your happiness.
Thank goodness.
Because those are sometimes those are tough ones to trust.
You make me sick. I want you when I'm hating it. Got me lit like a candlestick.
Daily interactions that can make you sick.
What song is
this? Driving me crazy, baby, don't you quit. Can't get enough of you. You got me going again, baby.
Disappointed, Jen.
What is? I don't know. Have I heard that song before? Who sings that?
That would be the lovely Pink. That was one of her first singles.
Oh, I gotta go back and listen to that.
1999, You Make Me Sick. So did you ever get halfway through the day and realize that you suddenly hate everyone?
My daughter Riley doesn't even have to get halfway through the day. She just has to wake up.
There you go. A new poll looked up the top things that can immediately drain your social battery, meaning everyday interactions that make you feel like, okay, that's enough for today. Everyone sucks. Get out of my face.
This is a survey of 2,000 Americans, and these are the top 10 things that push us over the edge to hate people.
Okay, what do you got?
being interrupted or talked over. Sorry, Curt. We
No,
do
that happens to us a
lot.
lot, but there's no hate.
Too much awkward small talk. Dealing with customer service on the phone. Amen to that. Talking to a stranger, like maybe you get caught in a conversation with someone you don't know and don't care to know, and they're a talker, like on the airplane or something.
I was just going to say the person sitting next to you on the plane. How about the rest? Some of these are like unsolicited advice is a thing that can make you hate everyone. Office gossip. That's not true for Jen. You thrive on that.
That is not true, Curt Cruz.
Jen.
Curt, let me just bring this up. Curt would be the one to come to me and say, did you hear about so-and-so? Did you hear about this? I'm like, no, why am I always the last to know all the things in this office?
The difference is I didn't care and you wanted to find out more. I'm like,
That's
yeah,
right.
whatever. Group video calls can make you hate people. A coworker that overshares. When someone wants to show you something on their phone, you're
Oh, I want people to show me things on their phone.
not if you don't have time.
Any sort of networking event rounds it all out. And the poll also found that 11:54 a.m. is when the average person starts feeling drained for the day. Like they start hating people.
So if you can make it past 11:54, you're in the clear, right?
Yeah, I guess
That's
maybe.
the big turning point, right? All right. How about another excellent question of the day? Sounds like I'm bragging, but I'm bragging on you, Jen, because this is a good one. You found another good one. Or made up another good one.
It's not really a question. It's a fill in the blank situation. My day is a win if blank. If I get out of bed.
My day is a win if blank. I would say if the dogs don't bring an entire tree into the house that they dug up.
Did you guys laugh at it at least?
You know what? Nobody got angry. I mean, did it slow down Dana getting out the door to work a little bit? Yeah, but I vacuumed it up and it was a lot, but whatever. It's just carpet. It's just,
My day is a win if the dogs don't pee or poop in the house.
That's another good one. Let us know how your day is a win if blank. Plain and simple and easy. We'll put that up on all the platforms that we are involved with and let us know. We'll be back on Friday with your
That would be Facebook, by the way.
That's it?
Yes.
I thought we were doing more than that. Okay. Is that how lazy we are? All right.
We're lame.
Okay. What happens when I start this music?
It means the show is over. We're glad you were able to spend some time with us, or we can spend some time with you.
Like, follow, subscribe if you want. We'd love you for that. We love you anyway.
We'll have a new episode on Friday. We do new episodes every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So we'll see you on Friday. In the meantime, make good choices, find joy, spread kindness, and laugh because it's good for the spirit.
Laugh a lot. Yeah.